Hi, friends, and welcome to Season 3 of the School Librarian Learning Network podcast. I'm Steve Tatro, often known as Dr. T Loves Books, and I love talking about all things related to school libraries. I'm an old dog who's always trying to learn new tricks. That's why at each episode of the SLLN podcast, I'll chat with a school librarian about a lesson, program, or activity they love. Hopefully, this can be a place for school librarians to get ideas and find new ways to engage with their students and staff. Speaking of which, I'd love to hear about what you and your friends are doing in your school library. Email me at drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. That's drtlovesbooks@gmail.com to tell me about what you're doing, offer feedback about the SLLN podcast, or to request a podcast sticker. As Amy Herman likes to say, being a guest on a podcast is a great way to show your admins you are engaged in meaningful professional development and leadership in the profession. So drop me a line and let's chat. That being said, the opinions and ideas shared in this podcast by myself and my guests are our own and do not reflect those of our school districts. I just like to geek out about school libraries. So without further ado, let's get to this week's episode. Hey everybody, we're back. I'm very excited. I got a new friend out of Texas. Texas, you're producing some awesome school librarians, I just got to say. But before I jump ahead, as I usually do, I need to back up and stop and say, welcome, Jennifer. I'm so glad you could be here. Why don't you take a second, tell us who you are, where you're at, and what you do.
My name's Jennifer Brusenhan, and I am an elementary librarian at a K-5 campus here in New Braunfels, Texas. And I actually opened up a new school this past year, so that was a little rough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun, but challenging.
Oh, yes, for sure. Definitely worked a little bit more last summer than this summer. But this will be my 6th year in the library, actually.
Nice. Congratulations. That's great. How did you end up in the school library in the first place?
Well, I've taught everything from like K through 4th grade and some pre-K experience as well. And my old assistant principal, because I used to work in Seguin ISD, she saw what I had done on Facebook because we were like friends or whatever, and we had been in committee meetings and stuff like that. And she messaged me and said, hey, we're looking for a librarian. And my dad had just died. This was like January 2021, my dad died. And so like in that March or whatever, she was like contacting me in like March through May. And I didn't know what I was going to do. They were going to move me to kindergarten. And I was kind of over the littles at that point because I had done a pre-K like all through high school and college. And that was my first teaching job was as a pre-K teacher. And So I just prayed about it. And then my mom was all like, let's use the money from your dad's truck to like pay for school. Because I had to go back and get another master's. I already have one in a master's in curriculum and instruction from A&M.
Oh, nice.
And reading. And then, so I looked into it and it's either do the school the path without the full degree or go for the full degree. And it was going to bug me because there's only like 2 or 3 more classes to get the full degree.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to UNT and working as a librarian at the same time.
Oh, nice. Okay.
At a dual language campus too. So
wow. All right. So you got thing on thing here. That's great.
I know.
Boy.
Un poquito español.
Well, that's un poquito more than I do. So you're ahead of the game. Man, that's amazing. And I love when folks get it doesn't happen often, but when you get to work in a space while you're learning the classes and I imagine that's got to be such a rewarding experience to be able to be like, okay, this thing I learned, I'm going to come in and like put it right into practice in my space. That's got to be really cool.
Yeah, because a lot of the things that I use in my library or things that I've used in my classroom, I just tweak it for the librarian environment. And when I came into that school in Seguin, the kids didn't love reading. Like the library was like a place that like sometimes they could go in, sometimes they couldn't kind of thing. It wasn't open as when I was in there kind of thing. And so I had to build that reading culture with them and build that love of reading.
Absolutely.
And get them to a point where like they wanted to come to the library. They were excited to do the challenges that I had and all that stuff. And I had a great group of librarians there too around me as well, where we could just bounce ideas off of each other.
That's awesome. It's funny. I just got back from ALA the other day, and one of the topics of conversation that came up in like every session, circle, committee meeting I was in was that there's this perception of school libraries that seems so pervasive that it is like a quiet space, or like it's people have experiences with school library spaces or school librarians who were not making the library a space where like stuff happens. Like this is a place you want to be. It was like the quiet space or the closed space. So I love that you're actively moving against that unfortunate stereotype that's out there. And I'm sure your students appreciate it too.
But yeah, my classroom was never quiet, and like in the library, the only time they had to be quiet is like when I'm reading my read aloud and giving them instructions. The rest of the time,
Mm-hmm.
as long as they're on task and they're talking about a book that they're reading or whatever, that's the goal right there, is to get them
Oh,
excited about
absolutely.
reading.
Yeah. And like, especially when we get to emphasize that social aspect of reading, because so many people think, oh, reading is a quiet individual thing. No, it's so, there's so many social aspects to it. And it's those social aspects are in a lot of ways for our students almost as important as the literacy element itself, because just them getting to connect with each other and talk to each other is a valuable learning experience, and, not one that you can easily replicate in a classroom all the time. So it's awesome that you made them this space where they can have that going on.
Trying to.
Well, and speaking of sharing stuff, I happened to come across a post you had put up that talked about turkey in disguise, and I was immediately captivated, fascinated. I had to know more. So before we get into the specifics of it, where did this idea come from in the first place?
Probably Instagram, like all their ideas. Back in the day when I was in the classroom, turkeys in disguise were like a big thing.
Hmm.
Um, and so I don't know, I can't remember who originated the idea or whatever, but you would send home the turkey with the kids, they would decorate it or whatever. But I kind of added my own twist to it because I made the kids like write a short story to go with it because I wanted to build their writing skills in second grade.
Absolutely.
I even did it when I taught fourth grade too. They loved it and they would like take it home and decorate it. So I modified it for the library and do a library lesson with it. And so the book Turkey Trouble, which everybody usually reads that with this turkeys in disguise. But there's a book called Turkey Trouble, and the turkey like disguises himself as like several different things so he doesn't get eaten for Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
And so, like, he tries to disguise himself as, like, a cow, and he tries to disguise himself as a horse, and, like, he's trying to hide and the whole time he's, like, running from the farmer this whole time. And so the family ends up, like, ordering basically the doorbell rings at the end, and it's, like, him dressed up as a Domino's guy, and they're like, "Who ordered pizza?" And they're like, "Nobody did." Well, that's our Thanksgiving dinner is the pizza. So I tweaked it a little bit, and so I'll read the story to the kids, and then I have, like, it's differentiated writing 'cause this campus that I'm at and my other campus, they asked me to help with writing because writing's a big thing on the STAR and everything like that, and writing
Hmm.
in general, these kids can't write because texting and
Yeah.
computer technology, all that, like, voice to
Hmm.
text, they don't know how to write, and so my goal is to pick fun books, pair it with a writing activity, usually as a craft with it or some sort of like other activity, STEM activity or whatever. In this case, they would take the turkey home, and then in my lesson, they would do the writing portion of it because that was a portion that I wanted to look at and make sure that they were like doing their complete sentences, helping the teachers out, that kind of thing. So
Sure.
like
Plus, it's a
kinder,
good chance for them to practice where you can see their writing as it's going on. Because
right?
sometimes, as a former English teacher, like I know I could learn a lot by just watching how the kids wrote, like what their thought process was as it was coming out on the page. So I can see that being a benefit too of having them in class right.
Yeah, and I always get with the teachers too, because I'm all like, "Hey, like, can this kid is it capable of, like, doing this on their own, like, coming up with their own sentences? Or do they need a sentence
Mm-hmm.
starter? Or do they need to do the draw and label portion of it, you know?" In
Mm-hmm.
kindergarten, they're gonna draw and label their picture kinda thing, you know, but there are some kids who need differentiated instruction. Some of them, 1st and 2nd grade, they get the half sheet with the picture on top and then the written portion on bottom, and then usually 3rd on up, they get, like, the full writing page that I've created, but then I send a note home with the parents and tell them, like, "Hey, we're gonna have a competition," and so this is where it's tweaked a little bit. So I have a competition with them. I say your turkey has to be disguised as a book character. It can't be anything. And so I kind of went semi-viral on TikTok with like, cause I'll do like big bulletin board displays or whatever. And it went semi-viral one year. And like, I had like a Selena turkey and a Santa Claus turkey and a Christmas tree that like lit up and everything. And they would have a book that went with it and everything. The
Hmm.
Grinch is always a big one every year too. But they'll disguise their turkey and they can use any materials that they want. Sometimes if kids don't have the materials, they know to come in and ask me, "Hey, Miss B, can I take some art materials home?" I'll get them a little Ziploc baggie, send it home with them. I have a ton of stuff that's been given to me or I just bought or like I've gotten on my wish list kind of thing. And
Hmm.
so I have extra craft all the time. I mean, people come into my library and be like, "Hey, Miss B, do you have this, this?" Like I'm known as the person with everything. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Yes,
As
hold on."
librarians often are.
Yes. I'm like, "Yeah, just a second. Let me go get the glue gun for you," you know?
I love that this is sort of combining so many great elements. Like it's got a literacy component because we're having the kids pick a book character that they're going to make their turkey look like. You've got the maker element of it. And I imagine too, like whether or not it's verbalized or written, there's probably a story element to it because they're probably in their heads sort of thinking about how that story that they're choosing fits or doesn't fit or how they're going to make their turkey sort of fit with a particular part of the story. So there's all these different little elements. Plus the fact that you show them off in the library is awesome. Like if you
Yeah.
folks, there's a link to the TikTok videos. You got to see some of these turkeys are amazing. They're so great.
They're pretty fun, like, it's one of my favorite activities besides our pumpkin activity that we do or whatever, but the kids get so excited to, like, bring it in and do all sorts of things with it. Some of them don't listen, and they'll do, like, a ramen noodle cup or whatever, or popcorn, and they don't exactly do, like, the book character, but and I tell them, I said, "If you wanna be in the competition, it has to be a book character." It's like,
Hmm.
"Otherwise, you're just putting it up there for everybody to see, and I've got their writing already."
Hmm.
And then we vote on our favorite. So I use a Google Doc and I like narrow it down to like the top 5 in each grade level. And
Okay.
I'll send out you can do one of 2 ways. I've done it 2 different ways. I've done it to where I've sent out a Google Doc with choices on there and you can send it out to the campus and they can vote. Or you can do like the QR code where they come into the library, they scan the QR code and they vote that way too.
Okay.
And you just number the turkeys, just like you would like your pumpkin book characters if you ever done that before.
Gotcha. So this is open to all grade levels, it sounds like.
Yeah, K through 5th. And
Okay.
then, so what I do is I do top 3 overall,
Mm.
and they get like a big prize,
Okay.
like a gift card to like Sonic or whatever, or it could be like a cookie decorating kit or something like that you get at Walmart for like $10 or whatnot. And then I'll do the top 3 in each grade, and they get like their little certificate, and they can come get a free book in the library because I have a stack of like books that I give away for like competitions and stuff like that.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
I love that. I mean, I love that everybody's got the opportunity to take part if they want to. And because I know sometimes, especially in the lower grades, it can be like, well, we're going to do this thing for fourth grade. And then the third graders feel left out. And then when they get to fifth grade, they still want to keep doing it. So, like, I love that anybody who's here can take part in this. And
right.
I know that you tend to do this with lower grades, but the more you talk about it, the more I'm like, this would absolutely work with upper grades too. Like, I can see some of the kids really just going for it with some of their character designs. So,
Oh, yeah. The older kids are like, "Hey, can we do it in a group?" And I'm like, "Sure." And they've come in and like given me the whole SpongeBob crew, you know? And I'm like, and they're like, "This is the book." And they'll bring the SpongeBob book, you know? So like they like it. And I was like, "Yeah, you can be a group." And they're like, "Can our group win?" And I said, "Yeah, if your group wins, like all y'all would win, you know?"
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man,
So
another social element. I love it.
yes. And
And you said
sometimes
that you send home instructions. You were sending home instructions when they were doing writing. Are you still sending home instructions when they're
well, the
doing this?
writing is done in library
Gotcha.
now, and then I send home the turkey on cardstock. So there's like a girl turkey and a boy turkey if they want to pick one or whatever. And then
Okay.
there's a note on there that says like, "Dear parents, like disguise your turkey so he doesn't get eaten for Thanksgiving dinner. You know, it's due on such and such date or whatever." If you didn't have time to do the writing, and you can also put on there like, "Hey, the story is also due when you turn in your turkey," kind of thing.
Gotcha. Well, and I love too that when you're sending it home, now you're also building that opportunity for the students to talk about it with their parents, which a lot of times that student to parent information pipeline is not as doesn't
Oh, yeah.
flow as much as we'd hope. So,
Yes, I also message the parents on Parent Square and be like, "Hey, like, I attached the Canva link or whatever, and, like, here's the flyer in case it didn't get home to you," and then we try to post it, like, on our Facebook page that we have for our school and everything.
That's great.
So any form of like communication that they get, I send it to the teachers and I say, hey, send this out with your monthly newsletter or whatever. So I try to give them like a month ahead of time, like this is what we're doing. So they get like a newsletter from me. That way they can inform the parents of, hey, this is coming up in library kind of stuff.
Mm, hmm. Yeah. Any runway you can provide is always a good idea. So, man, I love this idea. And my brain is kind of bouncing all over the place with like, you could absolutely do this with literary characters for the library, but like, I don't know why, but my brain is thinking like, what if you had the kids do it for history, like historical figures, and you could turn it
Yeah.
into a history/library project, or like, I don't know, different literary characters from ELA, or like,
Oh yeah, you could do so many things. And like if you didn't want to do a turkey, you wanted to wait until like December to like do a gingerbread man in disguise, like
mm,
I've done that, or leprechaun for St. Patty's Day kind of thing, like there's so
tons of
many options.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, like every month there's some kind of theme going on. You could definitely do like all sorts of design contests. I
Yeah.
love it. Huh, man. I mean, it's very simple and direct, and that's what I love about it. Like this is something that I think anybody who is looking for a way to kind of increase their engagement with their students in their library, what a great opportunity, because it's pretty like it's a pretty low lift, it sounds like, with you make up the turkey handout to give them. And then you said some of them ask for maker materials, but some of them probably do their own maker materials.
Yeah. And then I also told them, like, if you just want to draw on it, that's completely fine. Like, I had a kid, like, draw a marker and it made it look like Dog Man.
Hmm,
Totally fine. Can I still see the turkey behind it? Yes. But, like, did he disguise it? Yes. He totally did what he was supposed to do. And some
love
of
it.
them, they come in and you can tell, like, some of them are, like, more parent driven versus the kid actually doing it kind of thing, which happens with everything. But, like, they're
Hmm.
so proud to, like, show it off, especially, like, the little ones because they
I
get
can
all
imagine the
excited.
faces.
And then the older ones are just all like, "Well, is it any good, Miss B?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's great. I love it." I was like, they still want that validation too, but they wanna be, like, cool.
Oh, absolutely. And giving them that expertise of making it, and then the sort of the recognition by having it in the library where people can come and see, like, here's what I did. I mean, what a great opportunity. And I'm thinking, like, if these were happening around a time when you might be seeing parents through the library, or if you were even doing, I mean, I'm sure you do videos. I'm sure you probably do videos, photos as part of your end of year like report that you share with others, or even just in a newsletter. Like, what a great opportunity to just take pictures of the stuff that the students have made and say, like, look at how the students are engaging with the library space. And that's because we have a library space and they feel like they can come here and do these kinds of things. So like, it's almost a stealth advocacy opportunity just waiting to
Yeah.
be tapped?
Oh, yeah, I usually do, like, some sort of, like, TikTok video, put it together, and, like, my principal saw when I did our pumpkins in disguise for our characters, pumpkin book characters. I did a TikTok video, and she said, "Oh, send it to me so I can, like, put it on our 9 weeks, award ceremony or whatever so parents can see," and, like,
Nice.
it's a new school, and so I've had to learn, like, they don't have the buy-in like my other school had because they had me for, like, 4 years.
Mm,
So it was my first year at this one, and so it was an adjustment, one,
oh yeah.
because it's not a dual language campus anymore,
Hmm.
and then two, like, the kids weren't from what I can gather, the kids weren't used to, like, doing all these activities or these competitions or whatever.
Hmm.
And, like, my librarians in my district are awesome and everything, and so, like, I'll send them, like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing," and like, "Oh, that's a great idea." So, like, some of them are keeping my ideas and saving it for, like, this year kinda thing.
Hmm.
And it's just one of those things where, like, I have to remind myself, baby steps, like, maybe only 70 kids did it this year, but next year I can get, like, 150 kids. So my most amount of turkeys that I had was, like, 265 turkeys.
Wow. That is a
So
library full of turkeys.
it was literally, like, 3 walls full of turkeys outside in the hallway.
That's awesome.
And so, like, I try to put them out in the hallway where, like, everybody where there's main traffic where everybody can see them and everything.
Oh, I love
Um,
that. That's great. And I hadn't really thought about it until you just said it, but like, when you're stepping into a new space, whether it's a brand new library or if you're just, going to a new school, yes, you want to make sure you're building culture of literacy, but you also need to build a culture of library. Like you need to help people understand what your library space is about. Because like you said, not everybody's necessarily doing the same things in their library spaces. And that's okay. Like we've got to do what works for our students and we've got to do what we know we can pull off. But we do have to sort of like kind of start from scratch and build it all up from the ground up whenever we go someplace new. So I love that that's a very conscious thought that you are having as you're going through this and kind of getting your library program up and running. And it sounds like your administration is completely right there with you, which is awesome. Have you gotten any kind of feedback from the students or the staff about the turkeys?
So they love like everything I've done. They're like, man, you're so involved. You do this. I'm extra. Like I was extra as a teacher. So I'm like extra as a librarian. And so to me, um, like it's just normal for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're not used to like a librarian like doing the fast pace that I do, I just go all in. Probably
Uh-huh.
more than I probably really should, but that's just my personality, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I've had a lot of teachers say thank you for like everything that you've done this year. The kids are like really loved it. And like once the kids like see what has been going on, then I think they'll realize, oh, she's gonna do it every year. So because some of them were like upset. And I was like, hey, I was like, we're gonna do it next year. I was like, you can try again next year, kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, there's different competitions throughout the rest of the year too, guys. So like if you want to do those, then do those. And like pairs, I don't know if you've ever heard of Beanstack.
I've heard of it. I haven't used it, but I've kind of vaguely familiar with it.
But yeah, so it pairs really well with Beanstack because on Beanstack you can give competitions and do like bingo boards and stuff like that. And so like I create like a paper bingo board and then on Beanstack I'm like you need to complete these tasks or whatever. You need to read like 350 minutes this month or whatever. And it's like an online reading log for them and they complete the task. And then the monthly bingo board will have like the turkey in disguise on there this month or whatever, or have the pumpkin book character contest or whatever, gingerbread house contest and whatnot. So there's something like every month that's like big that they can look forward to. And I think once you like, I got frustrated a little bit because I was like, nobody's buying into it. But I had to think backtrack and think, well, this is your first year here. You don't know anybody on this
Mm-hmm.
campus, Jennifer. Like you're trying to build relationships with the kids and with the coworkers.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
Well,
And,
and that's it. Like they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what this space is. And I think it's generally true. Like whatever grade level you're working with, it takes a little while for students to just sort of feel things out and get a sense of, is this a space for me or not? And it sounds like you are very consciously and purposely giving a space for all the students, but it's definitely going to take some time, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just something that I've had to learn to be like, Rome wasn't built in a day, Jennifer, you know? So,
That's it.
the Lord
Yeah.
is
I mean, I started my library space. We didn't have a space in my school for a while, and we just got a physical space going in January of 2024.
oh, wow.
And it's like I've been going, trying to get the space sort of in the best shape I can get it. And I was talking to somebody recently about how like I've been spending so much time focused on the building the space and getting the stuff that I haven't spent as much time on building the community and building that sense of this library is for everybody. And so that's my project going into next year is, okay, the space is where it's going to be. Now you got to like really build that community element of it, which you are so ahead of the game on, which I love. Like it sounds like that was your game plan going in was let's build a community and everything else is going to follow, which totally makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on relationships in general, and, like, I knew the Lord had provided the opportunity for this job. It was closer to home, not that Seguin is, like, far away from New Braunfels, but, like, it is when you're hitting that traffic and everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would take me, like, over an hour to get home in the afternoon kind of thing, and now I can leave at, like, 3 and be home by, like, 3:25, 3:30 if I need to.
Nice.
So, it's just one of those things where, like, I have to, like, give thanks to Lord because he's provided this opportunity for me to be where I'm at, and I would just have to remember, like, the kids come first in
Mm-hmm.
anything that we do, and
Well,
to build
that's
those
it.
relationships, and once you do that, then, like, they'll wanna come to the library, you know?
That's it. If you build it, they will come.
Yep.
Man, I love that. Wow. Well, this is such a great activity for folks to be able to kind of find the way it's going to work for them. But it just sounds so, it fills me with joy to just think about the existence of it, and seeing the turkeys that the kids have already created just put a huge smile on my face. And so I am excited. Last year I did a draw turkey competition around that time of year, but I think I might change it up this year and try this out, because I love this, just the way your students are getting so creative with figuring out how they're going to tie things in. So this might be my new, gotta work a couple of little details, but I mean, it's really, like you said, it's there. Give them the turkey, give them the opportunity, and they're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, and I always show them, like, videos of, like, my past turkeys in disguise, because some of them are like, "I don't know what to do," so I'll pull it up on my phone, and AirPlay it, and you're like, "Look," and they're like, and they'll start naming out all the book characters that they see, and they get excited about it, and then they'll go home and figure out what they wanna do.
Love it. And even the ones that you were saying, sometimes it's clear the parents have had some involvement in the creation. But even that is such a great opportunity for the students to talk to their parents about
Oh,
what they're
yeah.
reading and like what they're doing in school. So, obviously we want students to be doing student work, but I feel like this is one of those opportunities for whatever comes your way is a great opportunity for the students. It's a
Oh,
great
yeah.
learning experience and enjoyment experience for the students. So, boy, this is fun. Thank you so much for coming to share this. I love it.
You're
Boy,
welcome.
all right. Well, I think we are at the point we're going to take a 90-degree turn and go into our book break.
Book break. Squiddy.
So, any kind of book you want to bring, personal, professional, something for the beach. We're on summer break. Why not? Something for home, whatever works. What do you think? What do you think people should have on their reading radar?
I'm a huge historical fiction person.
Okay.
I love it. And so just a couple months ago, I finished The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and
I've been hearing a lot about that.
it was phenomenal. I'm a sucker for like a World War II, like Holocaust era. I know it's really weird to be like interested in that. But there's so much history that I'm just fascinated by it. When I was younger, I read The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom, and
Hmm.
she's a Christian. Her and her father and her sister, and they were part of the resistance in Holland. And she's the first woman Dutch watchmaker too.
Hmm.
And so they ended up like hiding some Jews in their house, and somebody ratted them out. I don't know who. And when they had like some Jews in their house, they got raided. But the Jews, they hit. Like a secret like compartment in her room. It's really behind her little closet. She had like a little hole in the bottom. She would climb behind, and only like maybe like 3 or 4 people could fit in there. And there was like a
Hmm.
radio, and then there was like a little pot that you could, if you need to go to the restaurant, kind of thing. Well, and it's like super tight squeeze. Like you can do a virtual tour of it online. And so
Hmm.
like her whole family got taken to the concentration camps and everything. And the Jews were saved though, that were hidden.
Wow.
So people who had worked with her, like, went and, like, rescued those Jews, like, later on after the Gestapo had gone and torn up. And so ever since then, and reading Diary of Anne Frank, I've been obsessed with, like, the Holocaust and the Jewish story and the World War II kind of thing. And so when everybody's like, "Oh, you need to read The Nightingale." Love Kristen Hanna anyway. And so when I read it, it's kinda slow at first, but then it picks up and, like, you just can't put it down. And
Hmm.
then it leaves you numb at the end. Like, I threw the book across the room. I was so mad. And you just sit there and you just cry and you cry because I'm an empath, and so I'm gonna cry if, like, you're crying kind of thing.
Hmm.
And it was just
Boy.
it's one of those that sticks with you, and it's based on a true story. And so, like, at the end, she tells you all about it's these 2 sisters who are in the French Resistance and everything like that. One of them's married, one of them's not, and so they both help out in different ways, and it's
Okay.
their story. And so it just sticks with you.
Hmm.
And they're making it into a movie now with Dakota Fanning and her sister Elle Fanning. So it's supposed to come out in February, so I'm really excited for that.
Interesting. Huh, I did not realize.
Yeah.
Okay. We do our staff puts together every year a books we want to read over the summer list that we share with the students so they can kind of see like we read too. And The Nightingale has been on it consistently the past 2 years. I keep seeing it pop up, and I'm kind of myself, I'm a little lukewarm on historical fiction. It kind of depends on what it is, but this one clearly is something I'm going to have to get on my TBR because it sounds like it is just fascinating.
Yeah, because it starts with like one of the sisters is older, and then she does like a flashback to like the wartime kind of thing. And at the end, there's
Okay.
like a twist, and you're like, what?
Love a good twist.
Yes.
Man. Well, thank you. This is a great title. We've got a great idea. We've got a great title. This is awesome. And I know folks are going to want to find you online so they can see all the awesomeness, not just the turkeys, but also the turkeys. Where might they want to go looking for you online if they want to see what you're up to?
I'm on Instagram and TikTok as Texas Aggie Librarian. Spell out all of Texas. And then
Excellent.
AGGIE and Librarian because I'm an A&M fan.
Nice.
And
All right.
Yeah, those are the two main places that I'm usually at.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your summer to come and share this idea. And I know I'm going to be digging into it, and I'm sure other folks are going to be getting it too. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the SLLN podcast. Be sure to check out the show notes for the episode. They feature links to resources shared by our guest, as well as ways to keep in touch with them, and links to the book break titles. I'd love to hear from you. If you have feedback, a comment, an idea, a question, or something you want to share, you can email drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. That's drtlovesbooks@gmail.com. Know a librarian with something we could learn from? Let us know. Until next time, be good, be safe, and be well.